So welcome to the channel, guys, a channel that brings you Mark II and Mark III content, as well as how-tos and projects. And in today's video, we're going to be carrying on with my GTD project, or the open air project, or the color concept open air GTD TDI project, whichever way you want to call it. It has so many names. Today, we're going to be covering the bits that I picked up from the trimmer, which is the handbrake gaiter, the gear stick gaiter, and also the steering wheel, and they look absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to show you guys on the bench how good these are. And then also I'm going to be showing you a how-to. Like I said in the last video, at the end of the last video, they had questions on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube asking me how do I do this Mark IV style of the 3.5 hazards in the actual dashboard and not on the cowling of the steering column. So we're going to move over to the bench, I'm going to show you those bits, and then also I'm going to show you the wiring that you're going to be needed to do the conversion and all the parts, as well as I'm going to show you how to install them into the car. So let's move over to the bench now and I'll show you those bits. Okay guys, so we're here at the bench. It was a really good idea of me to actually cut the rear panels out of those 3.5 rear benches, because they're not good for anyone unless you have a convertible. So the lever on this is absolutely, he obviously chose the best lever that was there and put some cream on it. And I mean, the stitching is just so perfect on it. It's really, you know, I'll show you guys a close up in a minute with some B-roll, and he done a really top job. I mean, this handbrake gaiter as well, I mean, the stitching is exactly so straight. It looks so good. Obviously the color concept didn't have the whole gaiter like this. It was only just that bit that was done in leather. But because obviously I have the Mark III style central console with the rear cup holder and stuff, and it's all integrated, I wasn't going to do half. I thought it'd just look a lot cooler and a bit of a nod towards the original OEM Plus style, you know, with this all done. And then we move over to the steering wheel, and I cannot. A big thanks to Richie at TWR. The link will be in the description. He actually did this wet lay carbon on here on the horn pushes, and it's flawless, absolutely flawless, like most of his work. If you need anything done on R32, he is your man with big engine builds. And the stitching, so this was originally an anniversary steering wheel, so it was a leather steering wheel, so I haven't actually added any thickness to it. He obviously removed the original leather, and he's stretched this leather that's on here with the original kind of wrinkles, not the smooth type. And again, a nod to the rest of the interior. He just done the stitches in blue. Again, I'll show you with some B-roll a close-up of how good this steering wheel looks. Yep, so before we get into the how-to, I'm just going to fit these parts. There's no point fitting the steering wheel until I've actually done the steering column wiring for the hazard switches, which we'll go into. But first of all, I'm dying to see what these look like in the interior. Let's go fit these on. Okay, so that's done. I mean, some of you might not actually like this gear knob. It has a lot of sentimental value for me. I've had the same gear knob for many years, and I might change it. Yes, it might not actually suit too much with what's here. Actually, let me just tuck this in so it looks a bit neater. There we go. That's what you call box fresh. It looks very good compared to this old. And you can see it's even faded as well. It doesn't even match what was there, whereas this one does perfectly. Okay, so that's done. So next, move on to the handbrake. Okay, so now this is basically just a matter of actually just clicking it in, and this just clicks into place. So let me get this bit done first. There we go. And then Okay guys, so as you saw, we've got the gear stick gaiter done and the handbrake gaiter done, and they look really good. I'm so happy with those, they look really cool. But let's get on to the main event, which is going to be how to mount this hazard switch in the dashboard like the 3.5. And basically we're going to start here now with a breakdown of what's actually needed. So the first thing that's needed, or one of the bits that's going to, well, the first thing that's needed is going to be the cowling. As you saw maybe one of the previous videos, a couple of videos back, the cowling is different here. I'm looking down so you guys can see. This bit here is actually blocked, whereas on the normal one, they're different. Let me just grab that for you. I'll show you what a normal one looks like. And as you can see, it's got the cutout where the hazards would be. Next thing you're gonna need is the stalk. So there's a pair of stalks. Again, I think the wiper one would be the same as any other one. It's just the indicator one doesn't have the indicator fitted on it or nothing else. And I think there's a few wires missing in it as well. So that's the second part you need. And then you've got the most important part, which is the loom. In my left hand here, I have the standard wiring loom, which I've actually put in this felt tape. So it's all tidied up. So this is what the normal loom looks like with the 3 red plugs, and then goes all to the stalk, and that's it. And then you've got the extra wire for the convenience. And it's pretty straightforward, right? Now on the 3.5, you've got the extra wiring, which obviously goes to the hazard switch. There's also a relay on the wiring loom, which is number 413. And yep, and this is what the wiring looks like. So you've got the 3 red plugs as you would do normally, but then you have also the wiring that goes to the stalk, which again is normal, but then you've got these extra 2 wires that goes to the plug, and that has obviously the indicator relay, and it now uses this. So that's what you do. Now I'm going to put this on the bench and break it down to you, the wiring, because you have to separate some of the wiring. Basically the illumination wire and 2 earth wires, which are on this switch. It's pretty straightforward. Just 2 earths, which are 2 browns, and the illumination wire, which is the grey and blue wire. So it's pretty straightforward, really. So the first thing I'm going to do will be this, actually, the 3.5 light loom, which has got this extra relay and this actually white plug that then connects to the white plug on the other loom. Okay, so I've got to kind of remove this end blanking plug and just kind of feeding it through. It comes out through there is the way I'm going to be doing it. So it's a bit tricky to kind of get it through. Okay, so I was able to get them all through one by one. And get those 5 wires here. And that's it. So that's actually wired in now. So that can go back in. And then the blanker. Okay, so now these wires. What I've done is also I've actually I've extended the earth and left myself a spare terminal and a spare wire just for future proofing if I need some more earths for somewhere. So this will now go to the earthing block on the side here. All wired in, clipped in all the wires around the back, little wire holder, so it's all nice and neat, doesn't vibrate and rattle, and that extra light loom is through with the extra wire that I needed for that. Just wired in the illumination to this illumination block, and this brown plug is the extra. So I've got the 2 extra wires that I needed. I've also clipped in the relay 96 onto the fuse box right there, so it looks nice and neat. Now I'm going to run in the other wire, which obviously goes to the stalks. Okay, so I've just test fitted everything on, the steering wheel, the clocks, they're not wired in yet. I need to also put the code in the radio and stuff, so everything's kind of in. So now I'll just test the hazards, and there you go, it works perfectly. I had a few snagging problems with one of the rear lights, was corroded, the holder, but lucky I had another one, so I've just figured it out, and that was a problem. That was the problem, and it works perfectly now. The fuse box is still down, so there's that extra relay, the 413, and you do actually leave the original relay in place, and it does need the extra wire as well that goes from that white wire that feeds power to it. So that's all done. Some of the sharp-eyed of you might notice that this is actually the other way around, because it's a UK one. It does fit, and it still actually keeps the orientation. You know, the left is the left, the right is the right. It's just that unfortunately it's upside down. Until I find a left-hand drive one, I'll keep that for the moment. But what I have done is actually I've adapted a UK light to fit on this side, because these are really hard to find, especially with the fog light option as well, to be illuminated in red of the 3.5. So literally everything illuminates red. Unfortunately these don't at the moment. It's just the way it goes. I need to find a stronger LED bulb or some kind of solution. I've seen a few guys have wired these up so they come up quite strong, but at the moment that's not really illuminated. So what I'm going to do is turn the lights on so you guys can see it all illuminates red. There, the radio is also red with blue lights, and that also lights up red. Like I said, the clocks are not in yet. So there you go. This is how you get rid of that. It looks a lot cleaner without that there, doesn't it? It's quite nice because it also illuminates up as well at night, so you can see where it is. So I think it's pretty cool. So guys, we've come to the end of another video, another how-to video, and you guys have seen, like I said, I had a few questions on all social media platforms asking how to actually wire this up, and I've showed you guys in a bit of detail what is needed. The only thing that I needed to do really was wire up 2 wires to earth and put illumination wire, and it's all plug and play, all plugs into the fuse box. But you do need literally everything: the stalks, the cover, the light loom, as well as obviously the loom that goes for the indicator with the extra relay, and the ones that go to the steering cowling. So it's quite a few bits you need, but as long as you know what you need, from that point onwards it's plug and play and it all works. It's a nice little touch, and as you guys have seen, it illuminates really quite nicely, and it just looks a lot smoother and a lot cleaner here on top of the cowling. And with this dimple dash, the car looks really quite nice, just the way I wanted it really. And this steering wheel that Richie done for me with his horn pushes, the carbon fiber horn pushes, and the trim that I got done here in Portugal is absolutely amazing. I can't wait. It's a really nice place to be with these seats, these Recaros, and this. It's I can't wait to actually get this started. So hopefully it won't be too long now, maybe another month or two. Let's see what COVID brings and my travels and stuff. Moving on to next week's video. So in the next video we're going to be covering the clocks, as well as there's loads of like snagging issues that need to be done. This window regulator, now that I've powered it up, doesn't really work properly. I need to kind of adjust that, as well as I need to do the door pin. I've also noticed the central locking doesn't work. So there's loads of like little snagging issues that need to be done. It's boring, but they need to get done. As well as if you guys actually have some of the same problems, maybe it might be help you guys out with some of these problems. As well as it shows you in depth that when you do these projects, it's not all about, you know, the nice glittery bits. There is a bit that happens behind the scenes of things that actually don't work first time when they bolt them on, or they need to be adjusted slightly. So that's what the next video will be, and that'll be on Sunday's video, which will be all the snagging points. And then from there, it'll probably snowball. I'll probably do back onto the charge cooler and kind of get that running. I've actually got the nozzles back as well, so that might happen at some point, and we can actually potentially get this started. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, ding-a-ling-a-ling, click on that notification bell, and keep safe.